Folks, this is a topic which I love very much to talk about because I believe in my country. I worked very hard, like all of you, to build this country, and we have a fantastic future. We are 17% of humanity. We are one of the oldest civilizations in the world with a continued history. And we have been a very peaceful country throughout our history. We never conquered everybody. And we have found the reason for human existence. We explained the reason for human existence. And we found the panacea for everybody. That's what Sri Guru Shankar Guruji told us today, that we have to reduce stress and we have to learn to be happy. And we learn to live with nature. I found the solution on this planet is that we must respect nature and live in harmony of nature. And life is not about the conquest of nature, but living in harmony of nature, because the planet has a finite capacity to rejuvenate itself. So, we have to play our stake in the world. And for that, we need to have a great economy, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So, India is ready to take its place as the top 5 economy in the world. Never again, if you go before anybody in the world, show your passport, will they smirk at you. Why? We'll have the mullah in the bank. Look at this. Data. We have 1.35 billion people. Population is growing at 1.1%. Fertility rate is 2.2. Replacement rate is 2.1. The whole of the south fertility rate is 1.8. Kerala has got 9% people from Bihar who speak Hindi. Is outstanding what is happening. West Bengal's population is growing, fertility is about 1.8, Gujarat is about 1.9, and Punjab is 1.7. So the question of population growth has been handled because we are producing less babies. We've only produced 25 million babies a year, and we've been producing 25 million babies a year for the last 30 years. It's not going up and is planned to come down because we reach the peak. So population growth, that is not a problem. The key is what do you do with the people who are coming into the workforce, and that's what we got to see. Lifespan, well, females always live longer, so please be careful. Don't get on the wrong side. Literacy is low because we didn't educate people after independence. When Mao took over in 1949, he made a statement, women hold up half of heaven. He educated China's women. So because he educated China's women, Chinese women workforce participation is 64%, India is 24%. So the literacy is far higher, 95, and that is resulted in greater economic growth. We are $2.6 trillion in GDP. Don't forget that. We're the 6th largest in the world. 10.3 in PPP, the 3rd largest in the world. The PPP multiple of 4 is very, very large, and you can see the rest. What happened between 1991 and 2018? We were a free market economy throughout history. Pliny the Elder wrote 2000 years ago that Rome will be impoverished by its trade with India, because Rome sent gold and silver and bought spices and textiles from India. 2000 years ago, Columbus went west to find India. India was the hoard of gold. Today we have 30,000 tons of gold, 175,000 tons of silver in India. It is a rich country with poor people because the British, when they ruled us from 1857 to 1930, took away $400 billion of money in 1930 terms. It is all there in the book called The Case for India by Will Durant. Please read that. Look at this. Between 1991 and 2018, nominal GDP grew at 13.6% a year. GDP in dollars grew from $275 to $2.6 trillion, 8.7% a year. Show me one country which grew at 8.7% a year continuously for 27 years. There's only one, China, which grew at 9.5. And why? The Chinese women were educated. That's my theory. So look at all the data here. We've grown reasonably well. This is a growth of the last 10 years. You know this data. We've done well. This is the consumer price index. Now this is something that you must see. The quality of growth in the last 5-6 years has been very good because inflation has come down. Inflation is a primary killer of the saving class. People who save will always become poorer if inflation is high, the CPI inflation. Now inflation has come down. What we save possibly will retain more of it, because in an inflationary situation, people who borrow make more money, people who save lose out. And throughout our history, inflation has been a killer. Now we should make sure inflation doesn't rise. Look at this chart. What is the quality of growth today? Inflation has come down from 15% CPI to 4.7%, and then our growth has gone up and down, is now at 6.7, gone up to 8.2, and the fiscal deficit has come down from 6.5 to 3.3. So the quality of the growth now is very good. We must sustain the quality of the growth. And the quality of the growth has gone up because of many reasons, which I'll talk about. This is a very significant slide for those of you who face criticism that the economy is not growing. We are 13 years, 14 years behind China. China 14 years ago was 2.6 trillion. Now they are 10, 11 trillion dollars. China has done it. China opened up in 1978, India opened up in 1991. And China grew 9.9% from 79 to 2011. From 79 to 2018 grew at 9.5%. Look at this chart. 200 years ago, a unique thing happened. The age of the machine started. We speak about it, Rekha. It happened 200 years ago. China, India made up 45% of world GDP. Then Europe took over because industrial revolution happened there. And look at this chart. By 2021, the emerging markets will have a GDP higher than the OECD. After 200 years, it's getting reversed. We are in the midst of the biggest change in the economy ever for the last 200 years. And Trump is a result of the change. The US share of global GDP is coming down. China's share is going up. Asia is dominating. So the West is fighting back and saying, you can't get access to a market cheap, you got to pay the price. And see all this turmoil that's happening. Turmoil about immigration, turmoil about trade is all the result of this tectonic shift in the economy. By 2031, the emerging markets will be 1.5 times that of the developed markets, and that means the savings will come up. For the next 30 years, savings in the West will be far higher, but after that, the saving impact will come and you'll see a change all over. The world is changing. 1700, Asia was 55%, and 2050, Asia will be again about 50%. Look at this. Asia was a growth engine, and Asia had the largest population. India was an artisanal economy where growth came because of human muscle and animal power. When the machines came, we colonized, we couldn't do. Now we know the machines, we know IT, we know AI, we know ML, we know robotics, we know all the nice stuff. We have enough brain power, and we're going to win this battle. India, China, the only country we must compare ourselves is China. What is the point of saying that we are 45 in the digital rank with only 450 million people having access to the internet? Number one is maybe Singapore with 5 million. It's a joke. Don't compare with Finland. Don't compare with any small country. No country has 1.3 billion people to manage. USA has only 315, and they're finding it difficult to manage. We got 1.3. It's an anarchy. It's dysfunctional. It doesn't work, but it goes by itself. There's no logic. 29 states, each one as big as a country. So if you want to compare India, take the state of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal and compare. West Bengal will stand out compared to many states in the world. So look at this data. China, India, China's population 0.4, 16 million babies. They were 14 million, now they're producing 2 million more, and they may get older before they become richer, but they're $13.3 trillion in GDP this year. And you can see the growth rate. India is now 8.2, this is old data. PPP, largest in the world, 25 trillion. America is 21. And if you look at all the data, the factory of the world, largest exporter, largest importer, largest quantum of money in the world. Look at all this. And they got a huge banking system. We got to see how the Chinese did it, but not do the Chinese model. Because the Chinese model is unsustainable. It's bad for the environment. You get foul air in Beijing. Well, Delhi, you got foul air. Now it's cleaned up a little bit. And you know, I read a report. That's why I don't want to come more to Delhi. The thing, you stay in Delhi with the foul air, your lifespan comes down by 9 years. We got a lot of work to do. Come to Bangalore, Rekha. So anyway, look at this. This is nice stuff. This is important. Government fiscal condition is improving because subsidy as a part of GDP has come down from 2.43% to 1.86%. Look at what DBT and digitization has done. 14 to 18. 4.39 lakh crores went directly to the bank account of people. DBT enabled benefits in 18, last year 1.91 crores. 1.91 lakh crores, it's a lot of money. And how much was getting robbed? 90,000 crores was getting robbed, your money. All your money, you should be upset. Why your hard work money that you pay as taxes is getting robbed? And look at this, DBT savings in 2018 is 33,000 crores, and now we got the largest insurance program in the world, 500 million people. We should be proud of this. Yes, there will be difficulties, but nobody has done this. There will be difficulties. We shouldn't be critical about India. I was in an event in Chicago, the World Hindu Congress. I had an NRI come and speak to us and say, oh, you got fake medicine, you got this, you got that. I made the president and told them, Bhaiya, we stayed back and fought the battle in India. We were not economic refugees. We stayed here. We had no power, no water. We walked. We stayed back. We built our country. Because this criticism is, anybody can come with any social theory to India, find the data to fit the theory, because it's a large country. It's a large country. It boggles the mind to find how large it is. Look at this. 125 million tons of steel, second largest in the world. 467 million tons of cement, second largest in the world. 23 million two-wheelers, largest in the world. Cars, 4.8 million, fifth largest. 500 million construction, sixth largest. IT BPO, fourth largest. $167 billion of software. Installed power, fifth largest. Wireless phone, second largest. India is the top 5 in most industrial classes. Look at this in industry, 730 million tons of coal. The air is going to become more foul. Trump can't do anything. Second largest in the world. 210 million tons of iron ore, fourth largest. Aviation, third largest. America is number 1, China is number 2. We overtook Japan to be the third largest, and this is growing at 17-18% month on month. Railways, fourth largest, is because Russia is there, land mass, and Russia, the US, and China. Then roadways, third largest. Ports, electricity, and textiles, second largest. And look at this here, exports, the air passenger growth is growing, automobile production is growing pretty fast. Sorry, I'm assured this. Look at this. Second largest fruit producer, 277 million tons, 60 million tons in stock. We have got a problem of surplus food. Milk, largest producer, 169 million. Cotton, largest producer. Horticulture, second largest after Brazil. Sugar, the largest. This year is going to be 36 million. Government doesn't know what to do with the sugar we're producing. We got to send it up abroad, dump it in the rivers. The reverse water will become sweet. Spices, 2.6 million ton. Cropland, because the largest fertile soil in the world, 45% is irrigated. Productivity is poor. And the bovines, livestock, largest in the world. You see them all on the streets. And they have fundamental rights in this country. They may come for the AIMA conference next year, Rekha. Look at this. And look at this. All 15 major climates in the world are there. 46 of the 60 soil taps are there. Largest exporter of cereal projects. Largest manufacturer of farm equipment. Farm equipment, did you know that? Equity market, we are $2.27 trillion. $350 billion companies are there by valuation in the markets today. 350. When I started my career in Infosys, just about maybe 10 or 12. Sanjeev knows that, right, Sanjeev? You have been there all along, but we joined the gang late. And look at the mutual funds. 23 lakh crores money in the mutual fund, $350 billion. From 2013 to 2018, gone up from 7.6. $3 billion comes in mutual fund industry. More money comes in the mutual fund industry from Indian capital than foreign capital today. Isn't it remarkable? It's happened for 25 years. All your money is there. So keep doing puja every day, the market keeps going up, you make more money. That's a bit difficult. Look at this. We are not an aging country. We are young. We'll be 29 years by 2020. And Japan is 48. Last year, the Japanese had 930,000 babies, 1.3 billion Japanese died. The Japanese population of 124 million will come down to 97 million by 2050 and 67 million by 2100. They're shrinking in population. Sunil Munjal said when fertility falls to 1.3, that's the end of civilization. We said we're producing too many babies. It's because of the high production we're surviving as civilization. Like Japan, if you don't do that, you'll go. There'll be nobody left. 35% of Japan is above the age of 65. 15% of India is above the age of 15. 15% of India is 200 million people. 200 million people. As big as Brazil. So we are not an aging society. And we'll still be a young population till 2100. It's a big challenge. Everybody wants a car. They want to go to holiday abroad. They want a big house, right? Difficult. That's what a politician is supposed to do. And look at this, a huge educational infrastructure, 900 universities, 51,000 colleges, 33 million people in college. The gross enrollment rate is 26%. 26% of young people in 18 to 23 go to college. It will go up as per the FICCI report to 50% by 2030, and 70 million will be in college. We are one of the world's, we have got the largest educational infrastructure in the world. We overtook China. Look at this, 8 million young people, 80 lakhs come out of college every year. We produce 900,000 engineers. 200,000 are really good, 200,000 can be trained, and the balance, we got Ola, Uber, platforms, all of them to run. But the huge human capital that is coming. But you got to provide jobs. We produce some 250, 300,000 MBAs, right, Rekha? I don't know the number, right? 20% are very good. If 20% output is good, world class, we're doing well. We have adequate savings. Savings rate is about 28% now. Investment is 30%. That's adequate. We are a consumption-driven economy, 70%. China's consumption is 45% of GDP, and then the balance 50% is investment. Investment comes down, growth has come down. For us, 70% is consumption. We are much more balanced as an economy. GDP by sector. China developed industry, India didn't develop industry. We didn't make a national market. We didn't invest in infrastructure. We made mistakes. And that's why you see 45% of India depends on 17% of GDP growing at 3%. What is the biggest challenge for India? 45% of population depends on agriculture, which is 17% of GDP growing at 3%, whereas 55% of India develops on services and industry, which is about 83% or 84% of GDP growing at 9%. So people who are in industry, people who are off the land are growing faster and the divergence is going wider. That's why the Gujars want government jobs. The Jats want government jobs. The Marathas want government jobs. The Tamils want the jobs. And the Patels want the jobs. Patels, they're poor. Patels are not poor. They want all the motels in America. They're not poor. They want government jobs. Why? Because, they don't have the skills. When India opened up, the people at the top, 300 million who had the skills were done well. But this is a change. We need more industry to come up to absorb people. So the startup ecosystem is changing the entire thing in dramatic manner. We are the third largest ecosystem in the world. There are three great innovation systems, United States, India, and China. There is something in Israel, high-tech. London has some, Paris has some, Berlin has some, they're pretty small. Japan has some very small. But US, China, India, 40,000 startups. All the names are there in US Story portal in Bangalore. All the names are there. And they create $100 billion of value. $100 billion in a matter of 5-6 years. Look at this. We got $13.7 billion coming in. But the stats truth, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be a digital colony. We are going to become a digital colony. When India opened up in 1991, the first wave of industry was IT services. We globally dominate. Second wave was the telecom industry. We are still around. And the third wave, there was pharma in between, yes. The third wave was infrastructure. A lot of the cronies took the bank's money, and the banks are kicking them out, but it's Indian money. Nobody took money out. The fourth wave is the digital economy, and we have become a digital colony. Most of the digital big giants are owned by foreign capital, the Chinese and everybody else. And about 16 of the top 20 unicorns are registered outside India. We are going to become a digital colony. Today, the Supreme Court has given a decision. Aadhaar is good, because with Aadhaar, our data will be here. If our data is here, we have a chance. Twitter owns India. Facebook owns India. Google owns India. I wish Jio owns India. At least Jio is here in India. It's a very serious issue I want you to ponder. So startup system is in Delhi, Bangalore, and Deal. We need more Indian capital to come and invest in startups. Only 10% is coming in. And this year we got $6 billion in the half year. Look at this. The IT industry is a wonder. $126 billion of exports. 60% of outsourcing comes to India. $126 billion equal to $200 billion in American price terms. Out of $1 trillion of spending in the world, $200 billion is from India. 4.25 million people are employed with high-quality jobs. Average remuneration is 11.5 lakhs. And by 2020, so in the IT service industry, I am from that industry, and you know what? Many people criticize, they call us cyber coolies. Say, oh, what have you done? Do you have a Microsoft? Do you have a Google? Microsoft is there only in America. Google is there only in America. It's not in Europe, it's not in Japan. Why is that? It's a $20 trillion economy. They got a lot of capital, they got a lot of risk. India's local software is 25 billion. It's peanuts. The market is not here. So you can't build the giant companies. Now we can build some of the giant companies. It's going to happen. So out of this IT industry, of the top 10 software service companies by market value, 5 are Indian. Of the top 5, 3 are Indian. First is, we got IBM Global Services, TCS, $107 billion. Then we got Accenture, we got Cognizant, we got Infosys. Of the 2 million people in the top 10, 1.5 million are Indians. America has 6 million software people, 1 million are Indians there. Out of 4.25 million, 2 million work for American companies. Out of 8 million working for American companies, 3 million are Indians. We should tell Uncle Trump, you can't kick us away. Everything is going to come here. But look at the domination in the world. This industry has only 4% of revenues from India. Only 4%, Sudhir. But it's built such a giant industry, given us jobs. It's a great middle class dream. We must respect this industry and admire them for what they have done. Because we can create this kind of industries again. So by 2025, we'll have 100,000 startups. Anybody wants to take a bet with me? We'll employ 3.25 million people. We'll create $500 billion. I think it'll be $1 trillion, Vinita, but 500 billion is okay for a change. And we will be number 2 after the US. So this is what startups are going to do. Look at this. 20 companies have crossed $1 billion. We got 20 unicorns. Japan has got 3. China has got some 80. America has got 150. 20 unicorns. There are 20 more companies which will become unicorns in the next 3 to 4 years. By 2025, there will be 100 unicorns. What, Pranav? 100 unicorns. And see that company at the top, Beiju? We gave the first check 5 years ago, 9 million at 20 million pre. Now he's raised 250 million at $2.5 billion valuation. 4.5 years, from 30 million to 2.5 billion. I want all the young people here to dream and build unicorns. Look at that. One young man from the state of Kerala in Bangalore. You got to come down south a bit. But look at this. All these companies. Zerodha, one of the largest day trading company, portal for stock market trading, done by a young lad in Bangalore. He's going to be a unicorn very soon. Look at all these companies. They're all going to be unicorns very soon. These are all B2B companies, and this is going rapidly, B2C, B2B. Most active venture capital funds. This is by your story, not mine, your story. Our 2 funds are here. I won't tell you the names. So what does the future of startup look like? Every Indian is using digital. In the state of Rajasthan, the chief minister announced 1 month ago that she is going to give a phone, mobile smartphone, to 1 crore women under the Bhamasha scheme. So every woman in Rajasthan, in a remote village, will see movies 3 hours a day. And somebody sent me a mail to say they already given away they bought 2 million phones, and 35% of them are consuming data. If you're in a remote village, look at what happens to you. It's boring. You have to walk a long time. No power is there. So you are nothing. You can see movies. You can glimpse through. The world is at your hand. You can do trading. You can do everything else. You can buy lever goods. You can order on e-commerce, Sanjeev. You can sell to that person. And delivery will come there. Because Swiggy is there. All those people, they'll come and deliver and at a discount and make sure they give you whatever you want. Look at this. This device is connected. There are 7.6 billion people in the world. 7 billion have mobile connection. 3.5 billion have smartphones. The world is changing. And it's changing rapidly. And everybody is adopting digital. India's digital pool is based upon the startup ecosystem, smartphones, and the India stack. What is the India stack? The India stack is a public good. It happened only in India because Nandan Nilekani and a group of volunteers did it free of cost. If somebody had to do it, it will cost you $3 to $4 billion. Consent layer, cashless, paperless, presenceless with open APIs. So you can have a personal data stored. You do UPI, transfer money in 30 seconds, free of cost. Try it, it works. Aadhaar and Aadhaar KYC. This India stack is a public good which is transformative. No country has it. And in digital payments, India is leading the world. India is leading the world. Better than China, better than the US. This is the evolution of the India stack. What happened? Look at this. Lot of hard work. Aadhaar authentication, eKYC, e-sign, the Mudra, Jandan, payments, UPI, IBC, which is the thing, GST. So many reforms have happened. Who says reform didn't happen? Look at this chart. This is by BGC. Dismantling a bank regulation, credit registry. Our problem is we criticize ourselves too much. We beat ourselves too much. We will be proud of what we've done. Yes, we got challenges. We are a poor country. Poverty doesn't go away. But we're doing better. Every day you sleep and get up, India has become better. And we should do better. We should grow faster. That's what all of you young people should do. This is Aadhaar authentication. You've seen the data. Rapid formalization registration. By policy, demonetization help. It gave a shock. You may not like it. It gave a shock, changed people's behavior. I'm told. But many people who use cash and black money in real estate, the percentage has come down. I mean, there are only 2 places where it happens largely, Delhi and Bombay. Because Delhi was the place where all the cash money came to be accumulated in property. And Bombay has been known to do that. It's a sink of black money. So policy has changed. Digital India, GST has transformed India, created a national market for the first time, enablers, India stack, digital adaptation, etc. 95% reduction in data cost. Unlimited data for 100 rupees. 100 rupees. a month, unlimited data, thanks to Jio. Jio transformed the whole industry. Yes, they lost 60,000 crores. Do you know that? Telecom companies lost 60,000 crores. I was on TV when it happened, when Mukesh Ambani gave that report. They called me. I said, 50,000 crores is gone. 25%, 50,000. Your 2 lakh crore revenues, 50,000 gone. Am I right? Now you're recovering. I'm sure you'll do well. But look at this. World-class products are being built. What are the benefit? eKYC for India stack, time to open a bank account come down from 6 days to 1 hour. It actually works. I tried ICICI Bank, open a new account in half an hour. Mutual funds, 4 hours to 2 minutes. That's why you have so many people joining mutual fund. 20 million, 2 crore joined the mutual fund industry in the last 3 years. For onboarding, for giving a SIM card, 600,000 SIM cards by Jio in a day, 1 day to 4 minutes. Smartphone, 350 million by 2017. We are buying about 35 million smartphones a month. Is being assembled here. It's still Chinese, but at least 15% value added is being done. Now it will go up to 30-35%. Things are moving. Others used to import them outside. You'll be surprised to know electronic import is $45 billion. After oil, the largest quantum of export. We are not done well. We must build that industry, and you can see this here. Leap in data. Data is the new oil. Data is the new gold. We don't know how to make money out of it, but it's the new gold. We keep talking about it. Look at that. Generation is a priority. Everybody is going digital. The data Sanjeev has got on his portal with all his consumers, it is worth much more than your market capitalization. That's why your P is 50, Sanjeev. Right, Sanjeev? And you got the best data for any Unilever subsidiary in the world, right, Sanjeev? You're saying it on record. And they've done a remarkable job. Students should learn from levers how they change a company in 4 years to make it a fully digital company. At such a low cost, it is so funny. He hardly spent anything, right? If he goes to his parent, they would have spent billions of dollars to change and take 5 years, but you did it. And look at this data. Access is important. 11 GB per user per month. 11 GB. Man, that is something. Of course, 45% is movies. I don't want to talk about what kind of movies they see, but they're seeing a lot of movies. Cloud storage has plummeted. The cost of cloud storage has come down in India. You can see this data. We're going to go from data poor to data rich. When you become data rich, you can have AI, ML, machine learning, you can do data analytics, you can do predictive analysis and everything else, and you can pattern. The sad thing is, you can profile a person to control his thought. The battle globally is for the human being's mind. Because Facebook wants to send you to see the news it wants you to send because somebody pays money. Google will send you to the sites which they want you to see, not what you want to see. Cambridge Analytica tried to manipulate your mind for voting. Now, the biggest danger to our freedom is the big data monopolies around the world who are manipulating data to push us to what they want us to see and evoke the emotions in that. That's a very different story. I'll talk about it separately, but let me just keep this in mind. To increase market size, the cost of business should come down. You sell a TV for 10,000 rupees, you got maybe 100 million. 5,000 rupees, you got 200 million. 2,500 rupees, you got 1 billion people who can buy. For that, supply chain costs have got to come down, so you got to get the cost to come down. Of course, you need a big daddy like a SoftBank or like a Baba or like somebody else to give you a lot of money so you can subsidize the consumer. Right, Sanjeev? Walmart also, $16 billion. $16 billion is a great amount of money. But people who are listed in the market, forget one thing, there's something called impairment of assets. Every quarter, you've got to value the assets in the balance sheet. And the cash flows don't match that, gone. So we'll see what happens. A very interesting thing when offline comes to online and pay the price. Paperless instant credit. $1 billion of capital has come in to give you instant credit. You go to these online lenders, put your thumbprint, put your Aadhaar, they give you a loan in 30 minutes because they do all the transactions, get you all the credit scores and give it to you. They're all started by engineers, few by bankers. Most of them don't know when you give money, you got to get it back. But it's somebody's money. They learn when the bad debts come up, it's going to happen. But they're doing a fantastic job in showing the culture of financial inclusion. New age platforms, service providers, products being, everybody is coming in the platform. Look at this. Increase in digital infrastructure. Ola cabs, 800,000 drivers. 6 years. All over the place. Our answer to Uber. Uber met his match in India. Jobs. Where are the jobs? Platforms are going to create jobs, like Jane Sinha said, but the platform themselves are not going to create many jobs. So, we created a robust foundation for growth. and we will grow well. We will grow 8.5%, 9%. The currency may appreciate, and we'll reach $10 trillion by 2030. Because to do that, we have to be productive, we have to be much more efficient, and we have to be cost effective. And that's what is going to happen. So there are hundreds of experiments, the low barriers to entry, and the level playing field because of digitization. So India is optimizing to empower problem solvers, and startups will be the force multiplier. They're not going to make the future, but be the force multiplier that's going to make existing industry much more efficient, and we're going to see an upsurge. The next 10 years will be the best years for growth in all of India's 5,000 years history. For all of young people, you're going to have a great time. And the most competitive, the most disruptive, most change. By 2030, 70% of cars will be electric. 40% of cars will drive by themselves. 35% of energy will be solar energy or alternate energy. All right? 40% of work will be done by robots. Right? Imagine what's going to do to everybody. That is something that you need to debate. Thank you very much.